bringing crafting to you, and today we're going to make this lovely card using the frame floret. I have used the sentiments from some other stamp sets, but you can use any stamp sets that you've got in your stash. So I'm going to start off cutting a piece of card that is going to be 7 inches wide. Now I like to cut my card so that it gives me the long strip. That will be 11 3/4, which means that's big enough for a belly band. So I'm just going to stick that on one side. So I've cut that to 7 inch, and this is going to be cut to 10 inch. And we'll leave that for another project. Okay, so I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way, and the first score line I'm going to do is to score on the 10-inch side at 5 inches. So that's the first score line I'm going to do. So I've scored my card that I would normally do like that. Now I'm going to place it in at 1.5. So I'm going to place it in at 1.5, and I'm going to come down 2.5. So I'm going to place it, my blade this time, my cutting blade. So I've placed my card at 1.5, and then I'm going to place my cutting blade at 2.5. So got it at 2.5. Make sure your card's straight. And then I'm going to take that, my cutting blade, down from my, let's move it along, down from my 2.5 down to 9 inches. Okay, now I'm going to spin the card round, put it back in at 1.5, but this time I'm going to start at 1 inch. So I'm starting at 1 inch and then making sure that my card is absolutely at the 1 inch, and I'm going to make sure my card's straight and take that down to 7.5 inches. So just close that up and show you. So let's go through that again. So I put my card in at 1.5. So I put it in at 1.5 and put my cutting blade to 2.5. I cut from my 2.5 down to 9 inches only. I lifted up, turned my card 180 degrees, put it in again at 1.5 inches, and this time I'm starting at the 1 inch and then coming all the way down to 7.5 inches. Now you can do your 1.5 inches that way, and then you can move it along and butt it up against this edge. Now I'm not working on a very good table, and when I just did that a minute ago, because I've tried filming 4 times now I think, or 5, it went wrong, so I wasn't trusting that. So because I can't see what I'm doing, the sun is shining, I'm hoping that the video's turning out all right, because at the moment it's causing me trouble. Right, okay, so the 1 inch side where the cut lines went down to 1 inch side, I'm putting that back in my trimmer, and I'm going to just bring my score blade, so I'm going to put that in at 1 inch, and I'm just going to score, so make sure you've got it level. Let me move this along a bit. I'm going to score from my, make it sure it's absolutely straight. There we go. That's it. Put that down. I'm going to score up to the cut line. So only scoring as far as the cut line. Then I'm going to not score, so I'm just pushing my blade up because putting no pressure on it, that will not mark it. Then I'm going to have scored to my 1.5 cut line and up to my 1.5 cut line. Okay, and then so I'm still putting it in on that side. I'm then going to move it along to 2 inches. Just let me check. Yeah, I'm going to move it along to 2 inches and do exactly the same. So making sure it's straight at 2 inches. Making sure it's straight at 2 inches. I'm going to come down this time, because I've left my scoring blade at the top, down to the cut line, and then just gently past and up to the cut line, so that I've only scored to the cut line and up to the cut line. Back in, and then I'm going to score at 3.5. So I'm going to put it in at 3.5 and then do exactly the same. So I'm going to make sure I've got my cardboard straight, my card base straight. That's it. And I'm going to score up again to that cut line, miss out the middle bit, and from the cut line to the edge. So I've got, again, just that bit scored. None of this is scored. Then we've already scored that at 5 inches. Then I'm going to move it now, extending my arm, and that should be 7.5 inches. Yeah, 7.5 inches. Just move those out of the way. 7.5 inches, and I'm going to do exactly the same again. Get it at the 7.5 inches. I'm going to bring my, not your blade. Whew, I just stopped in time. Use your score blade to come down to the cut line, and then don't score any in the middle, and then come up again to the cut line. So we have got these score lines going off. So none of this centre is scored here apart from that line, and none of the card in the centre is scored like that. Okay, let me just move my trimmer out of the way. Okay, and now we're going to fold it into position. So I'm just going to use my template there. So at the back, we're going to do this a mounting fold. So I'm just gently going to push that into a mounting fold at either side. Then it will be a valley fold. So just gently, I'm just teasing it at the moment, I'm not doing too much. Then it will be a mountain. So let's do a mountain on either side, and then a valley. So we're going to do a valley on either side, and then to finish off with, we've got a mountain going off there. Now, this middle one will be a mountain fold, so I'm just going to ease those now. So I'm just gathering those up so we can push down on that, push in, push down, and push up. Okay, so I'll do that again. So if you lay it down, so you're going to push the 2 down, then push the next one down, and the top one will go on top. And now we're going to use our bone folder to give a nice good crease. So I'm going to start making sure that we've got these bits level, and so I'm going to crease, give these a good crease here, make sure that they're level, give that a crease, those crease, and then we're going to crease the top. Then I'm going to turn it over, crease there, crease that on the top and the bottom, and then I'm just going to let it spring up. Now this is difficult to show you, but I'm going in and creasing those that you can't. It's difficult for me to show you. Let's make sure that that one is creased, the centre one's creased, and these outside ones. So you're giving those a really good crease on either side. Okay, so now we are going to start with our layering. So what I've got is, we'll start with, I think, the centre one. So I've got a piece of smoky slate. I'm just testing which way it is. Let me just check that that's the right one. I think it is. Let's just check whether that goes in there like that. Yeah, that will go fine. Right. So the piece of designer paper you will want, piece of designer paper is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. The piece of card to do your mat is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So it is a square. So I'm just going to glue those together. In fact, I'll glue this down first. So just going to put glue on this and see how this goes. Just giving it an equal increment all the way round. Make sure I've got that all the way round. And then if your designer series paper has got a right way, make sure you've got this facing the right way. So let's see. I think that's the way I like it. So I'm going to put this on the top there. Okay, so okay, there. So make sure you've got the equal increments going all the way around. Then we've got for the bottom, we've got a piece that is 7/8 by 6 7/8. So we're going to just stick this now on the bottom. So you can do this in a few different ways. So you could, if you wanted to, rather than having the way that I'm doing it, you could have a piece that goes all the way to the bottom and just have these little 2 bits there if you wanted to. I'm choosing to have it go all along the bottom. This will be 3/4 by 6 3/4. And again, if you've got directional paper, just check that you've got this going the right way. Okay, whichever way you want it. I want mine that way, so I'm going to put it that way there. Okay, so bring that down a bit. So make sure you've got equal increments all the way. Okay, now for the steps. Just bring these out. Okay, that's a bit of foliage for later. Right, so the steps at the front, the first 2 that you're going to see, these 2, it's going to be 1 3/8 by 1 3/8, and the designer series paper is going to be 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So you can stick this flat while you do this now, so you get these right. So don't forget, miss one and you want to put it on this one. So it's going on that one there. So just make sure that you've got equal increments all the way round. There we go. And then bring, so you want 2 of that size. So, whoops. Oh, let's put that, stick that back there. That moved when I wanted it not to. So, come on. It's not my day today at all. Okay. Yep. And now my DSP's moved. There we go. That's okay. Try again with this one. So we'll put the card down first. So get equal increments all the way round, and then put your DSP on the top. Don't forget, if it's directional, that you want it to be the way you want it to be. Okay, and then with this one again, and then we've got these. So this is 1 3/8 by 2 3/8, and this is going to go on this part at the back. That can go there, equal increments all the way round. And then your DSP to go on that is 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. So you want 2 of those pieces to go in there. So again, if you've got directional, just decide on which way you want it to face and then commit. Okay, and do that on the other side. That's the side I want up. Make sure you've got equal increments all the way around. If you want to know the paper that I am using, this was the hand penned. I've not used it up, so I'm using it up now. This actual cardstock is Purple Posy, which is currently not available as well, but colours are being brought back, so who knows whether this is going to be brought back, I don't know. Right, now, also in Purple Posy, I've cut out the larger frames, so I'm just going to centre this. I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool and get rid of those. You can use your brush for this that goes on the Take Your Pick tool. I've not got access to mine at the moment, else I would have used it for this. There we go. So again, I'm going to put a bit of glue all around so it picks up. There we go. Just spotted one loose bit there. Let's get rid of that loose bit. Okay. So I'm just going to centre this. So I'm looking for equal increments top to bottom and side to side. So I'm happy with that. So that's going to go on there. Right, now, got this other element. It's the lovely oval. Now, this doesn't quite fit in, this, but I want to put it up on dimensionals. So I'm going to get my mini dimensionals and I'm going to put dimensionals on like a clock. So I'm going to put it at 6 and 12, 3 and 9, and then I'm going to put 1 in between there as well. So I'm going to put those in there. And that there, that there, and just take all the backs off these. There we go. Yeah, and then I'm just going to make sure that this is centered before I commit it down, so that it just will hover just above it, but just gives it that nice depth there. And then we're going to have the lovely sprig. Now, I just love this sprig. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This is what made me get this set, really, because I love sprigs, and this one is beautiful. So we're going to put that. Coming more towards the top, like that. Now, I did want garden green to put a sprig of the garden green in, and I've got a sprig out earlier, and what have I done with it? Oh, it's on the floor. Okay, I've got a sprig there. Just got a spare bit of card, and I've got my garden green, and I'm going to use our brand new, and they're so brand new I've not used them, look, our brand new mini. These are in our mini catalogue that's current at the moment. These beautiful little brushes. I'm going to see how this works on here, so let's see. I don't care if some of it goes darker and lighter, because that will give me a nice effect. Oh, these are nice. So I'm going to put dark a bit there. Oh, I do like these. With it being more smaller, the larger ones, when you are doing something as delicate as these, you can have a tendency to pull them up and bend them, but you've got more control with it being a little one. I'm just going to let it, as I say, go in and out of colour like that, because that will give it something. So this is a way, if you haven't got the cardstock. Now I've got garden green, but I can't go and get my garden green. So this is the way, if you use white and your ink pad, and you could use sponge dauber, but they're fantastic, love them. Right, I hope I haven't got any green on me. And I'm going to bring this back in. Let's move those out of the way. And I'm going to sit this just a little bit lower down. Oh, I do like that. There we go. Sit that on there. And I'm going to bring that so that it's showing some of the white behind it. And bring that down like that. Okay. Right, now I've got some of the other foliage, and I've used the garden green, but I've used my Wink Stella, so I've put garden green on a block and dipped in and picked up the garden green on my Wink of Stella, and you probably can't see it, but I can see it shimmering lovely. And I'm going to put this sort of going down towards the bottom now. And then I've got a bit of the flower and foliage. Now I'm going to stick some dimensionals on the top of this. So I'll bring back in my minis because they're just handy. So I'm gonna want to see where it's going to touch the frame, so it's not going to touch the frame up here. So I'm going to put some minis just to support it up the top, and then I'm going to glue the rest. So I've only put those 3 minis on there, and then I'm going to put glue on the rest. Now I don't like wasting anything, and when I did this, I ended up putting my Highland Heather on my block, but I decided to use my re-inker, and when Castella was going too dry, and I splitted some out, and it splitted too much of the colour out. So I'm not very happy at how that has gone, but I want to use it. So what I thought I'd do is I have got one of the smaller, well, it's not the smallest flower, it's the medium one, and I'm going to use this. So I'm going to give it a bit, and going to put that upon a dimensional. I'll get my larger dimensionals for this. So I'm going to put that in the middle and soften it a bit more with my fingers. Sometimes tiny objects are hard to do. It's easier to do with your fingers. And I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to cover majority of that flower up because I didn't like it. So I'll bring that down there, but I've also got a little one as well, and bring that little movement, and I'm going to just stick a little mini on that one, and I'm going to tuck that behind there like that. Okay, so I hope you can see that. Now I've also got more of this foliage, so I'm just going to stick this down and tuck that underneath, but I'm going to bring that out to the side, but I don't want it to catch on those, so just be aware of where your edge finishes there. And I've got these other little white bits. These are all, as I say, from I'm going to stick that up, going up there. Now maybe I could do with a tiny bit of dimensional for that. So I'm just going to cut a little tiny. I'm only wanting such a tiny little bit. I've decided. I don't know what's happening. I keep going off, so I'm hoping that it's going to keep now. It's got some beautiful sentiments in this. I really love this one, so we're going to use just a little reminder that you are loved. Now it just fits very nicely in the stylish shape, so I'm just going to get the long stylish, well, it's the third biggest stylish shape, so I'm just going to get that. I like to put a lot of my bits and bobs so that I can pull one out and that's ready to go. So I'm just going to bring in my mini. So just move that out of the way. I'm working in a lot of a very tiny space, I am. And that on, and put that on and hope it doesn't play me up. I'm working on a very slippy surface, so I polished it, and I don't know why I did that, because it was a very foolish thing to do, because everything's slipping on it now. That's all right for my normal. Right, so I've got that, and I've put the stamp set over here. I'm going to get out that one, which is that one there. I'm just going to pop that on there. Okay, so I'll just move those out of the way and get myself a block. So for block, I could do with something cushioning. I'll bring in my actual board. So this will just give it that little bit of cushioning. I do want to use Highland Heather. Lucky, it was the first one I picked up. So I'm just going to give that a nice pat on my Highland Heather, and then just going to see if I can put that in the middle, and then beautiful. Okay, so I'll just take that out of the way and go over there. It can go back out of the way. And I just put that so that it goes out of there like that. So I put some dimensionals. Let's just put dimensional on the back. Now I'm not going to put them all on because, as you saw, it went from here and it went over there. So just see where you've put things to how you can put it down. And like sometimes, oh, that's too much. Can't have that over there because it does that. So that'd be fine. And I'm just going to pop a little. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my pearls. Let's have a look. Now we'll get some white ones. Again, I've not got access to my gems, so I'm having to use whatever I've got. I'm kicking around, so I like to put one there. Let's see. Let's put that. Seems to have got its. Put one in the centre there. Have one in the centre there. I'll have one in the centre there. And you should always have odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I may put one sort of there for now. Right, now I want this to be the main focal point. I want this one. I did some like verse sentiments on the side, and because I want this really to be the focal point, I didn't want to put too much in here, but I'm going to do this one different. So I've cut loads of elements, so I'm going to see what elements I've got and where they'll fit. So this time I'm going to use this little one here. Now I've got to be careful because I want to be able to see it. Don't want it to go over the edges, so I've got to be careful it doesn't go over the edge. So I think I'm going to stick my leaves in position first. I'm going to stick those position first, and then stick this on. And I think I can get rid of it. I'm going to soften it again. I'm going to bring this round, and I'm going to stick it on mini dimensionals again. So what I've done with my minis, I've put them down somewhere, so I'll just, my old mini sheet, I'm just going to take a little bit off the old mini sheet, just put that in the middle, slightly bigger than a mini, but that will do, and then just kind of position that where I want it. And I think I'm going to stick a pearl on that as well in a minute. The top, because it will not affect it, so I'm going to have that there. Now I've got a bigger one. Now I'm not trying to recreate the same. Let's have a look. That might work. With a bigger one on this side, so I can have it different heights. Yeah, I think I will. I'll have it different heights. So I'm just going to stick some there. Now, all I'm bearing in mind is that I don't want to come over the side of there. That's all I'm bothered about doing. So I don't want to be over the side there. I've got, I'll stick a hole. It's stamping dimension, I think, on this one. That can go on there. So what did I do with the pearls now? They fell on the floor. It's just not my day today. Oh, there they are. Right, so I'm just gonna get one to stick in the centre there, and then one to stick in the centre. What did that one go? No idea. I have to get another. There. Right. So, shall we stick something maybe down there? So have I got any? So I'm going to do an opposite, because I'm going to stick this. Where's my glue gone? I'm going to stick this just on the. I'm going to have that little tiny foliage piece in the middle. Now I do want that, I think actually I want that behind it, so I'm going to stick that underneath, so there, that will be fine. And then let's have a look. Oh, I have got another one of those. Now have I got another one of, do I want that, or let's see what we've got here. Make it, I might stick that, yes I think I will. I'm going to stick that down, so that's going more down there, and I have got a flower that will fit down there, so I'm going to keep this flat because this has to tuck underneath, so I'm going to get that fairly flat. Go on that one. There we go. Oops. So that's a one there. Now I don't think, let me just double check that I haven't got any more. I've only got twigs. I haven't got any more flowers on that. So actually I need to do another flower for there, and I'm going to cut one out. Yeah. These. And go around it. You can use what you want really. If I'd got another one done of the other ones, I would have cut that one opposed to this one out really. So the die cuts the whole of that little array of flowers and leaves out. I'm just wanting something quick too. So I'm not going to die cut, I'm going to stick that, and that's going to go down there, on there, and then I'll stick a pearl. I can find them, so a pearl wants to go in there, and they've gone again, did they not? When I find the pearls, I'll stick a pearl on that, but I seem to have misplaced them and I'm not going to look for them now. So when this is folded up, that's how the recipient will receive it. I can put a happy birthday, happy anniversary. I haven't decided what occasion it's going to be for, so I'm not going to stick my sentiment, but my sentiment would go on the bottom here. And then it's difficult to show you, but kind of, let's see if I can pick it up in its place. So that is roughly how it would display. And if you are not going to stick happy birthday on there, you could put some flowers on there as well if you wanted to. I'm happy with that now. So the back, I found that, move that out of the way. So the back, I've got a piece that fits the whole of the back. So if you wanted to do this where you just instead of doing the bar and you just wanted to do that like that and then put these little pieces on, your little pieces would be measuring the same width as these, and it would be the same width as I gave you, that which was the 3/4 for the DSP and the 7/8 for yours, and it would be by the 1 3/8. I think you'd need 2 for either side if you this. This piece measures 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. So this is going to be my back piece. Oh, I've found a pearl. That's where one of the flicked off ones went, so I'll have you on the front of the card, and I've just peeled off the glue dot. Get off me. Where have you gone now? There. So that will go on the back. Your white is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Now I'm not with this on there now, aren't I? So let's stick the nice birthday wishes on there. This is a lovely one. So we're going to stick wishes for a beautiful birthday. So I'm going to stick that one on there. Just need to get myself a do. Now, when I've not used a stamp before, I rub it on the back of my hand so that it fetches the film off. And I did have my stamp pad, didn't I? Because there it is, my Highland Heather. So I'll bring my Highland Heather back in and ink up. That looks fine, and I'm going to put that roughly in the middle. Hold it there for a second or two. That's it, beautiful. And then what I like to do, actually I've changed my mind on what I am going to do. I'm going to bring in this. I'm going to peel the birthday wishes off this one, use this one again because it's a big one, and I'm just going to bring this beautiful. Now I'm going to stamp off on this one, so I'm just going to stamp there and then stamp at the top, then ink up again, stamp off and do it at the bottom. There we go. And because it's lighter, you can write through that as well. I'll like that, so I'll do that. So I'm going to stick it on now because I'll only have to write. You could write on it before you stick it on. I'm going to risk it and stick it on without writing on it because I can always flatten it down. Just got that little bit there. And losing it. But I hope you like that. Thank you very much for watching. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe and press the notification channel so you won't miss any of my further uploads. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up. Bye for now.